Today we are going to talk about a topic that marked a before and after in the modern history of the United States and the entire world. The Twin Towers in New York. This pair of skyscrapers not only represented the economic power of an era, but were also symbols of architectural innovation and international union. Furthermore, its tragic end, on September 11, 2001, completely changed the global dynamic, but its legacy remains immense. The Twin Towers, or World Trade Center, WTC, were a symbol of the wealth and progress of New York and the United States in the second half of the 20th century. With its 110 floors, the two steel and glass towers rose above the financial district of Manhattan, becoming one of the most representative complexes in the city. Inaugurated in 1973, the towers were an architectural icon of the modern era. Its construction was an ambitious project and one of the largest of the time, with the aim of revitalizing the southern area of Manhattan and consolidating New York as a global economic and financial power. The World Trade Center represented prosperity, globalization, and the union of cultures. In addition, it was the headquarters of many international companies and a source of employment for thousands of people. Throughout their existence, the Twin Towers were more than just buildings. They were a statement of power for the city, the American economy, and its leadership in world trade. The Twin Towers were praised not only for their economic and symbolic impact, but also for their architectural innovation. Designed by architect Minoru Yamasaki, the towers broke with the traditional architectural style of the time, offering a unique aesthetic that defied convention. The Twin Towers were the tallest buildings in the world until 1970, each standing 417 meters high, making them a symbol of New York's supremacy in terms of modern architecture. Unlike other skyscrapers of the time, the Twin Towers had a tubular structure. Instead of the typical visible steel frames, the towers used an internal tubular steel structure, which allowed for greater floor clearance and greater wind resistance. The design was also famous for its glass and aluminum facade, which reflected the New York sky and gave a feeling of lightness and modernity. This design gave the illusion that the towers integrated perfectly with their surroundings. The interior of the towers was as impressive as its exterior. The apartments were spacious and open, giving them an air of modernity and functionality. This allowed the towers to become home to a variety of international companies, banks, and businesses, making them the center of economic activity in the city. The Twin Towers were the pinnacle of architectural innovation and the symbol of modernity. Its design also incorporated advanced security measures for the time. Although the tragic events of September 11th demonstrated that even the most advanced buildings are not foolproof. On September 11th, 2001, the world changed irreversibly with the terrorist attacks on the Twin Towers. This was a day that marked a break in the history, not only of the United States, but of the entire planet. On the morning of September 11th, 19 al-Qaeda terrorists hijacked 4 commercial airliners. 2 of those planes crashed into the Twin Towers in New York, causing immediate devastation. American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower. United Airlines Flight 175 hit the South Tower. The force of the collisions and the resulting fires caused both towers to disintegrate within hours. The South Tower collapsed at 9:59 a.m. and the North Tower at 10:28 a.m. About 2,750 people lost their lives that day, including tower workers, firefighters, police officers, and others trapped in the disaster. Additionally, a third plane, American Airlines Flight 77, hit the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., while the fourth plane, United Airlines Flight 93, crashed in a field in Pennsylvania after passengers fought off the hijackers. The collapse of the Twin Towers left a deep scar on New York and the entire world. But he also left an indelible legacy that has endured in the collective memory. Following the attacks, the area known as Ground Zero was dismantled, and a new complex was designed to honor the victims of the attacks. Among the most important works is the One World Trade Center, also known as Freedom Tower, which was completed in 2013. At 546 meters high, the One World Trade Center stands as the tallest building in the West and a symbol of the resilience of New York. The 9/11 Memorial and Museum opened in 2011, on the 10th anniversary of the attacks. The memorial is located on the site where the Twin Towers once stood and features two massive reflecting pools on the site of the fallen tower's foundations. These pools are surrounded by plaques with the names of the victims. The museum features exhibits that chronicle the events of 9/11, as well as testimonies from survivors and the heroes who worked tirelessly in the rescue. Although the Twin Towers were destroyed, their legacy is proof of the strength and determination of the human spirit. People affected by the attacks, from victims to rescuers, have become a symbol of unity, courage, and solidarity.